Mrs. Kueh, and also co-founder of the Dempsey Project, where he has a lot of amazing food. You might have already tried it. So, Jeremy, thanks for bringing in some goodies for us.
My mom scolded me because last week I came empty-handed. She says you cannot.
I know. What kind of Singaporean boy does that
Exactly.
for a radio interview?
So I had to make amends this morning.
Oh, you sure did, man. You sure did. What did you bring for us today, huh?
So actually what I wanted to show you and maybe share with all our listeners is that I think Singapore kueh is so fun and there are so many different types of kuehs to discover, because in Singapore you think of kueh, it's not just Nyonya, but there's also Indian kueh and Malay kueh, and they all have unique characteristics.
Correct. Okay, so what approach is Mrs. Kueh taking to this?
So the reason why it's called Mrs. Kueh really is because we wanted to pay homage to all the matriarchs in all the different families that really sacrifice their personal ambition for caring for the family and the community. And actually, every family, if you think about it, you can think of someone who is always the one organizing the family dinners. In fact, she's probably in charge of the Ramadan now. Or she's cooking the charity meals for Vesak Day.
Aww.
Yeah, so every family has a Mrs. Kueh.
That is me in my family, and it's Lavinia in her family, right?
I also want to be the person that eats the kueh.
Okay, so hopefully one day you'll teach us these recipes as well, because they look and smell amazing. And, our team here actually got to try some of the kueh kosui that you brought as well. It's unlike any other, right, you guys? Right, guys?
Yes, it's really good.
Lavinia, did you try some earlier on?
I did. I just want to let everyone in the studio know I don't want to share.
Okay, all right.
No,
Step
you
up,
see,
yeah.
you think about it, right?
What?
Sharing is better because you get to eat more and try different ones.
Oh, is it? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. Then I'll share.
But I must say the texture is very different compared to
Yes.
other kueh kosis I've tried. This is a lot softer. And what is the magic ingredient you mentioned?
So all the different kueh kosis, they have lye or alkali water that changes the texture. But some people also like a little bit chewer and some people like softer.
Okay.
So really the best, right, is to get all your friends, buy your favorite kuehs and then have a kueh party.
Oh my gosh.
And go crazy.
That needs to be on a t-shirt, my friend. That needs
Go
to be on a
crazy,
t-shirt.
I love it. Hey, join in the fun on Facebook Live. It's facebook.com/1FM913. We're also live on YouTube this morning. Check out Jeremy's super bright shirt, putting us all in the mood for the weekend. And check out his yummy kuehs as well, and the one full range of stuff he's brought over for us to check out this morning. It's 1FM 91.3. Hang on for more in just a bit.
1FM 91.3. Incredible display of ballet.
Everybody, welcome to Facebook Live. Thanks so much. Jeremy is back here with us. Peranakan.
this.
No, I mean, not just Peranakan, Singaporean kuehs,
Yes.
Singaporean cuisine. And I love that, Jeremy, you're the champion of Singaporean food wherever you go. Thank you so much.
I'm just like every other Singaporean, not champion, just greedy.
No, but you speak the truth that how most of us are when it comes to enjoying kueh lah.
Yes, I like that. Okay, we gotta go crazy. Definitely good idea. Are you gonna be selling shirts soon as well?
I love your shirt.
Yeah, it's Ong Shamugam.
It says Relax Jack.
Yeah.
Did you write that?
No, Ong Shamugam Priscilla, she had a new menswear line. And
Okay.
it's so shock.
I love that Singaporean entrepreneurs supporting one another. I think that's the way it should be,
Agreed.
Helping each other out.
So for today, we also want to get everyone to jump on board because we are talking about how, when you go overseas, you stay with your friends. That's always fun. And then you want to express your gratitude, right? So we're going to challenge Jeremy by asking him how we can go about maybe perhaps cooking a meal of SG flavors. Ooh.
yeah.
So maybe you have an experience like that. Share it with us on our Facebook Live. Drop us a comment, okay, so that we can share your story on air as well.
Okay, if you got questions, you got stories yourself, anything you want to ask Jeremy, this is the best time to do so because he is, he's represented Singapore, brought our food overseas to so many different countries, and you still do that, don't you? You go overseas to cook for parties and events.
Next week I'm going to Delhi to really just cook laksa, nasi lemak and chicken rice.
Wow.
Yeah.
People just want to eat those things. What's the
Yeah.
most highly sought after local dish?
Actually, that's the amazing part about Singapore food, right? Because there's so many and everyone has their favorites. Yeah. So,
Is there one thing that you're consistently asked to make?
Not really. But of course, I have my own favorites also. I love eating nasi lemak.
Ah.
Yeah. And I feel like it's so easy to prepare.
Okay.
Yeah. So, later on when I share a little bit about like going overseas to cook, I think it's like one of the more versatile dishes that we can make, and we can pair it with different things. You can put it with like fried chicken, or you can put it with like rendang, or
Okay.
even make it vegetarian.
That's great. It's funny that you brought that out. It's hard to pick a one favorite dish because we spoke to a chef from the US, from LA or California yesterday. She makes pizza,
Ariana,
Chef Ariana
yes.
from Lucali's. And I asked her, what's your favorite local dish? And she says, you know what, really hard. Because she brings kueh lapis back for her family. They love kueh lapis.
Yes.
Are you doing kueh lapis at Mrs. Kueh? Something you need to consider, maybe?
Yeah. No pressure, no pressure.
So she brings it back for her family. They absolutely adore it. And I asked her, what is your, after being in Singapore for like 13 years, what is your one favorite local dish? She says, so hard to pick. There's so many good ones.
Yeah.
And I think we should not limit ourselves by having a favorite. Am I right?
Oh, yes. This is true. Why have one when you can have it all?
Yes. Welcome to Singapore.
This is very, very true. I love that about Singapore, that we've got so many dishes to tap on.
So, Mrs. Kueh, you talked about how, you've got kueh coming from the Peranakans, from the Indians and the Malay. At Mrs. Kueh, are we covering those kind of varieties as well?
No, actually not so much. My mom concentrates on like her few of her favorite things, and Carol, you've had like that favorites box. So inside there is kueh salad, which is pandan custard on the glutinous rice. Kueh kosui, which I've also brought today, which is like little, I would say like rice marshmallows.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's made with gula melaka, like a local caramel.
Can we show that to our listeners on the camera?
Yeah,
I'm not
sure.
sure. I'm not sure if
Good.
they can see it actually.
Yeah. So this one is the kueh kosui one.
And they all
Okay.
come with flowers. lah,
Yeah,
when we
so
order.
the flowers are grown locally also.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah.
Oh my
By
gosh.
Ting Ting from Pocket Farm.
Okay, yeah, I
Yeah.
got it.
And look at how wobbly it really is. Like you
Okay.
said, marshmallow,
Yeah.
rice marshmallows. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
and this
beautiful.
one is the. So we also have like Ondeh, which is like super. I think it's my favorite one, really.
Okay, we're going to pause
Yeah.
here to go back on air. Okay, hang on. Here on 1FM 91.3. Again, we were distracted by the kueh kueh. We just can't seem to escape it. We've got Singaporean chef Jeremy Nguee in the studio this morning to talk about local dishes and local flavors. And of course, he's brought in a whole bunch of things like his kueh salad, the kueh kosui. And if you want to take a look at it, hop on over to facebook.com/1FM 91.3 or even YouTube to see these wonderful colors. Your kueh kosui actually is very special in terms of texture. Also features local flowers that are grown here that are edible.
Yeah, from Ting Ting from Pocket Greens, she grows them, and a lot of the restaurants use them as well. So we don't have to import them from overseas.
Okay.
That is fantastic.
I've never noticed the flavor of a flower before. What are some local flowers that are edible?
So there are Egyptian stars or like marigolds. We use the petals. Typically, they have like a very herbaceous flavor, so they lend sometimes a bitter note.
Okay.
Yeah, which actually elevates like a lot of the other flavors. So don't be shy to like eat the flowers even if you are served in the restaurant.
Because that's the thing I'm always confused about. Do I eat them? Do I not eat them? And then when you do eat them, it's always with a spoonful of other things, right? So you never really notice the flavor of the flower. Is there one that's like sweet and pleasant?
I think for flowers, not that I know of, but yeah, the micro herbs, yeah, there will be. So
Okay.
like amaranth or like spearmint. I think there's another one that really is very, very sweet. Stevia, I think. Is the
Okay.
leaf.
Stevia, isn't that a fake sugar?
No, the artificial
But it actually comes from
sweetener
a-
from
yeah.
a leaf.
Oh, is that where it gets
So-
its name?
Yeah,
Oh my
so-
gosh.
Girl, what?
I thought stevia was just like, hey, I'm Steve.
name of
I've
the
got a
product,
product
is
called
that it?
stevia.
You see lah,
DM
this
trademark.
woman.
No, but it's actually a
You see
herb.
lah.
Oh, thanks for
So
that.
you could actually eat a spearmint mint and a stevia, and you put it together, it tastes like gum.
Oh, wow.
Hey, that is interesting. I must try that one.
Yeah.
But the one thing I do remember is a blue pea flower, which I can see, they use for coloring in kueh.
Yeah.
That's what I grew up, I grew up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one you
Okay.
can take from your neighbor's house.
Yeah, no, really, it's everywhere. Yeah, use it.
All right. Today we're talking about cooking Singaporean flavors when you visit your host friends overseas. So maybe you're staying with them, you're visiting them, you want to prepare them a dish, or maybe you're having a Singaporean party. How do you go about doing that, Jeremy?
So it's really I get asked this like a lot, right? Because like everybody knows I'm a chef. When I visit friends, they offer to like let me stay with them, sometimes I have the opportunity to cook, and I'm really excited about it because some of the markets that you go to, you see all this beautiful produce, and you just want to like really cook it up. Yeah. So one of the mistakes that I made was like to do a steak dinner in my friend's open kitchen in his apartment.
Oh, die.
And you imagine this is like grain fed, like Angus 150-day Australian Blackmore Wagyu kind of level, and then
That
like
sounds good.
there's all that fat like stuck to his ceiling, and like the smell just lingers in his place for like
no.
he said it was 2 weeks, like he kept thinking of steak.
You wanted to leave the memory of yourself behind.
I think
because
because when we go overseas to countries like Australia, we get very excited about things like steak because or a lamb because it's so fresh and easily available there, right?
and really good quality as well.
Yeah. So how do we go down the Singaporean route of cooking Singaporean dishes?
So one of the things I like to do is to like bring out some like paste and sambals, because that really like cuts short the time. And one of the things that you don't want to be doing is spending like the whole day like preparing like a dish when you could be out in the sun or at the beach or like even just sightseeing.
True.
So what you want to do is like get out, go to the farmer's market, pick up some stuff, and then when you're there, you can really just decide like, okay, what am I going to cook today? Am I going to do like that rendang and nasi lemak, which like you can just put all the ingredients together, leave it in the oven, cook the rice, and that's it, you're done, right? So the prep is really fast and simple. But the other one that is really fun is also do a barbecue. So like you mentioned, like steaks, lamb, and marinating with the same paste, like will give you really just that Singaporean like spice kick.
Oh my gosh, idea. I never
That's a
thought
really
of that.
great
Because,
idea.
a barbie is so common in Australia, right? Everyone loves a good barbie in the evenings kind of thing. And if you have an outdoor grill, that's perfect. You don't stink up the house, little cleanup.
Yep, and you can interact with your friends.
Yeah. And then, of course, with the Singaporean marinades and all that and paste. Oh my gosh, local touch right there.
You founded Batu Lesung. Can we get these kind of pastes, these kind of sambals for, what we want to do in making
So
an SG meal for friends?
Batu
overseas?
Lesung Spice Company is the name of like the range of products that we're making. So we actually have like 3 different spice pastes, and the names are suggestions of the dish. But really, you could just use any of them to marinate like meats for like the barbecue. Yeah.
Thank you so much for that, Jeremy. All right, we're going to be hopping back over to Facebook at facebook.com/1FM91.3 for more with Jeremy. Keep it right here. It's the Good Times Greatest Hits.
For your SG host when you go overseas. Tell us how it was, the good, the bad. Share with us what you made. And yes, we would love to share your experiences on the show as well. So drop us a comment on our Facebook Live. You are here with us. So back to Jeremy, you were talking about the kuehs that are available with Mrs. Kueh, right? So Onde Onde was the last one you spoke about.
Yeah, so the Onde Onde was my favorite one. If you're looking for like Onde Onde that's like has a little molten center, my mom makes a really excellent one, and it's super large.
I love how he says molten center. I'm sorry.
Did you get to eat it that time when he brought it over?
Yes.
Oh, actually, I didn't bring it because like it has happened to me before. I put it in my mouth.
Yeah.
I bit into it, and then I either laughed or breathed. And
That's
I
the
had
Onde
like,
Onde, right?
Yeah,
But
I
that's the one I've tried though. It's really good.
yeah, if you're not careful, you get gula melaka in your lungs.
But that's the...
Eh.
What's wrong with that? And what's wrong with that?
It's like choking on air, it's like someone recorded Facebook Live.
Yeah, right. We got to keep it professional, Carol.
Yeah.
Don't be choking on live, Facebook Live.
Okay, of course we don't want that. But it's definitely a beautiful assortment of kuehs that is it made by your mom or made by you?
It's made by my mom.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where are these recipes coming from?
So the crazy thing is that she is, we're not a Peranakan family, but my mom just loves to cook.
Right.
And I think kueh are also one of the things that she really got stuck on. So all these little kuehs are really her own like adaptation and inspired by like the heritage recipes that she got.
Wait,
Oh.
are you telling me you grew up eating so well?
Yes. But don't we all?
No, my grandma never make kueh. She lazy. She say no, too much work.
Oh no, but kueh was also a recent thing for my family.
Oh, is it?
Yeah,
Okay,
we
okay.
How did
didn't
you
eat.
stumble into this then?
So we volunteer for the YWCA. They do like a fundraiser every year, and we actually publish like a recipe calendar, which is actually the back archive. They are still available for sale, and
Ooh,
I
I can
highly
pick one up.
recommend them.
Okay,
So you
great.
must imagine like 1,000 matriarchs providing their best family recipes.
Okay.
And we are condensing into like I think now it's been 10 years
Okay.
of like calendars.
Oh my gosh.
yeah, so
How many
actually-
recipes is that?
My mom's kueh kosui and salad recipe and a lot of the other recipes that the other ladies and volunteers have contributed are also in that calendar.
I want
wow.
all 10 years. I just want to collect these things and to know that I have them. I may not cook it, but just to know that we have these precious recipes.
Because it's a collective, isn't it? It's not
Yeah.
coming from just one person, but a community of people
And
who have
can
been
you
doing
imagine
this
you
for
got-
years.
You got everybody's like secret family recipe.
Oh my gosh!
How did you convince
Can
all
you
these
bring a
ladies?
calendar? Like, where is
Where
this
can I
calendar?
buy this? Yeah.
I think you can go to ywca.org.sg
And ask,
Just try it.
I want the 2019 calendar.
You can. So every year there is a different theme. So like celebration dishes or like desserts or kuehs.
Oh my gosh.
You see, I'm there. ywca.org.sg. I'm at the shop.
Guys,
I'm
I never
ready.
ever thought I would have a need for a calendar from like 5 years ago or 10 years ago. This is mind blowing. Who does that? Like, I now feel I want to
It's
buy
very
old calendars.
clever. Very, very clever idea.
Oh my goodness, though.
Hey, don't have. What's this?
Okay, I
Only
think-
got fashion.
Let me go and like check out on how we
Oh,
can
you
get it.
bluff
But
us,
definitely
Jeremy.
have.
You
Confirm
bluff
have
us.
one.
No, the matriarchs decided I don't want to share my secret recipe.
No, they want to share.
They want to share.
Yeah.
How did you convince them though? Because some people are quite protective about their recipes.
But it's exactly like what you say. You just want the recipe to read it and to appreciate. And then if you get a chance to cook it, you cook it maybe
Because how many
once or
people
two
actually
times.
cook it?
Yeah.
quite
Yeah,
true,
we all
quite true.
look. We have the recipe. The joy comes from knowing I have the recipe.
Yes.
I can do it if I want to. But I
Yes.
choose not to. I will
Yes.
buy it instead.
That is exactly it, Carol.
No lah. The best is for you to try it and let your family and like your children eat it. Then you know, can tell them, say, oh, this is like our heritage family flavors.
I think the only time I really want to do it is if I'm overseas. Like I'm away from home for a long time and I'm like, okay, I'm missing kueh, I miss this and that. I can't get it. It's cheaper for you to make it. Let's do it.
Yeah.
But then,
Oh,
yeah.
that's fun. This is like an adventure.
Yeah, exactly. But oftentimes you might have the recipe, but you might not be able to recreate it to that degree that it's actually supposed to be done, right? The same outcome.
Yeah, those are the challenges trying to cook for your friends overseas, right? Local dishes.
So I have like two thoughts on those. One is like you can buy like Batu Lesung Spice Company and bring it because it's such a good gift and souvenir and it's easy to use. But I also think that it's important not to get too hung out on like the authenticity or like how traditional or like 100% the recipes. If you come 70% close,
Yeah.
I think that's really just good
Because
enough.
that's me. I get really OCD about things. Like I want it to be done like to the nth, like done correctly 100%. It must taste exactly. If not, I feel like a bit disappointed in myself. Like I didn't get it right.
So I think these are some of the challenges we're going to dive into when we get back on air and talk about how to cook that meal of SG flavors for your host
Yeah.
when you stay with them overseas.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Meanwhile, though, Jeremy, we want to know what is a dish, a local dish that you find very difficult to make at home?
Hokkien mee.
Okay, why? It seems
Yeah.
easy though.
Because there's a lot of like preparation that you don't see. So like for example, like the stock, it's actually not a fried noodle dish, it's actually a braised noodle dish.
Oh, okay.
And because it's braised, you need a stock. But the stock, to make this stock is actually quite tedious. It's mostly made with like prawn and you need like a lot of pork oil or pork lard as well.
Okay.
And I think it's quite, you don't see the stock, right? Because it all kind of gets absorbed into it. So there's actually like a lot of work that goes into this dish, but you actually don't see it because you can't see the stock, you can't see like what went into the noodles. It's all braised together.
Right, because you mentioned like pork oil. That, to make it itself, you can't like buy it. So you have to make it yourself. That takes a long time, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay. So I guess you don't make that very often.
Just go and support and eat lah.
I mean, but how long? See, so certain things, it makes me then want to go out and eat it.
Yeah, you should.
Because I want to show some love and appreciate the cooking of the uncle. you
Hey,
know?
so next time when we go to the hawker center, you chat them up lah.
How
Uncle, I
long
can
did you
appreciate
take your
how long-
stock? What's
Yeah.
in your stock?
I think the uncle might cry. you
prawn
know.
or not?
He's like, finally some validation.
Yeah, that's why when you see the hawkers, right, you call them master or sifu, you know.
They love it.
Really?
Hey, that's a good idea.
You get shy lah, but they deserve it. There's so much skill, even the Hokkien mee. Even if you do it at home with the stock, there's still like frying skill.
Ah.
Yeah, because it's difficult to get wok hei. People say, hey, why this noodle no wok hei? But
Yeah.
you try to burn water lah, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, the only thing that happens is evaporation.
But which is why you get some dry Hokkien mees out there. I mean, so is it supposed to have a bit of gravy? Because I'm a bit confused. Sometimes there's like super dry Hokkien mee, no gravy, and then there's some
There's
with a
wet
bit of gravy,
one,
and
yeah.
then there's one with like it's almost soup-like.
Just see what you like.
Ah, okay. So there are different kinds.
I've got a question. Any tips on how to get that wok hei flavor at home?
Burn the water.
No, but we said already, burn water very difficult.
So for
Try again.
for like noodles, or like if you want to like really, or like even like for your egg fried rice, so trendy these days. What I do is actually instead of cooking in a pan or like a frying pan or wok, I will actually use a stock pot,
Okay.
and I will heat the stock pot until it's like smoking.
Oh,
And then you add the rice or the noodles,
Okay.
and then you don't touch it for like 30 seconds. Let the bottom burn a little bit.
Oh.
Yeah, then you eat a little bit of like your stock or sauce, and then just give it a stir, and then just let it sit, let it like so-called char again for like another 30 seconds before you continue the dish.
Oh.
wow.
Bum,
But
bum,
that is
bum.
something I think people would find they have to fight in themselves. You know, when it's burning, it's like, oh my God, leave it alone. Don't
Yeah,
touch
you
it,
literally
right?
see the pot smoking.
And
Yeah.
you're probably like, oh my God, maybe I should turn the fire down. So that one we have to say, don't fight it. Just
Yeah.
let it be, right?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good tip.
Okay,
Must
we're
remember that
jumping
one.
back live on air for our last talk set with Jeremy. So all will be revealed. How do you cook for your friends overseas?
And remember to share with us about your experiences in doing so, the good, the bad, and the tasty. Islanders. You
I'll
see,
find it, I'll
Jeremy.
find it.
Then I became very uncool on air. I couldn't find it. I got very scared.
It's the Brightside with Carol and Lavinia, joined in the studio by Singaporean Chef Jeremy Nguee. Of course, he is very well known over at the Dempsey Project. He's given us the Batu Lesung Spice Company and also Mrs. Kueh. So, Jeremy, we're cooking for our friends overseas. We're trying to do up some Singaporean flavors. What are some other do's and don'ts we need to take note of? What should we even be preparing?
Yeah.
I have a very embarrassing story, and I still feel bad, but I think it's been like almost 10 years now.
National apology on air.
Never,
Okay.
never went back to this friend's home.
So, ladies and
More
gentlemen,
like not welcome back.
Oh,
do not try to make roast crackling pork in your friend's house.
why? Yeah.
So I think I almost activated the New York Fire Department.
Dude,
Yeah.
what happened?
When you roast pork, right, obviously there's going to be like a lot of smoke just to get that crackling. Yeah, and
You
that
set up
smoked
the
off the
fire,
smoke
lah.
detector in the apartment.
Oh, no.
And nobody was home. I was wondering whether I should try to dismantle it.
Oh,
So
gosh.
what did you do?
I think I tried to dismantle it.
Did the fire department arrive?
No, so I managed to get it undone before like they were called. Yeah, but it was really quite scary.
Okay, you were alone at home in your friend's place.
Yeah, because it was like it takes a long time to roast the pork. So anyway, my moral of the story is
Yes.
do not try anything that will set off the smoke detector.
Okay.
That would be like what? Steak?
First, take note that if there
Yeah.
are smoke detectors in your friend's apartment, lah.
Yeah.
Ask them to-
No, cover is it? Put plastic bag.
Yeah, ask them to point it out to you one by one before you attempt to cook. Okay, so what should you be attempting to cook?
Yeah, so I think like one dish meals, like laksa, prawn noodles.
Well, to you, these are one dish meals.
Because you like make the paste is already there, right?
Yeah.
You can actually in Singapore we also get like a lot of like these good spice paste, and you can use any of them to. When you're there, even just make it up, boil the prawns, or even put lobster.
Okay.
Oh, hey.
Yeah.
Ah, atas. Lobster is very atas.
Yeah,
like
but
the
imagine
way
if
you
you
do
are
it.
like in Paris and you're at the market and you see these like blue Brittany lobsters, and you want to do something.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
yes.
It might be a bit hard to like do a lobster barbecue. That would be nice. Eat some sambal, you know, brown butter, put sambal, brush over like fresh blue lobsters.
Lucky it's the weekend. We can go and eat all these things
So this is
tonight.
a very difficult interview to do. I'm very hungry right now, Jeremy.
Okay, so what are the other one pot dishes? Laksa?
I love to do curry chicken.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a really good idea. And then you can use like the local breads and all that. Be really nice pairing. Oh.
Beautiful. Great suggestion, Jeremy. Any other tips for us when we want to host Singaporean friends overseas?
I think just don't get caught up with like the authenticity of it. Just go with the flow, really have fun. And I think you can talk about like why you chose the dish, or like how you eat it in Singapore, or what inspired you. So you could be sharing about like your growing up in Singapore, or like your grandma who like cooked this dish for you.
That's so sweet.
Oh. I want to go and visit my friends now overseas. Then they're like, oh, I got my cook for you. They're like, no, Lovey, don't. No, I insist. I'm going to
You
cook
know,
it.
I really like that because it gives context to why you're preparing this dish. It encourages conversation. You know, you help relive memories. You create new ones at the same time as well. So thank you so much, Jeremy, for coming in today.
My pleasure.
Sharing with us how to impress our friends overseas. And of course, where can people find you once again?
I'm on Instagram at Jemnguee, JEMNGUEE.
And if they want to eat your food, where do they go?
So I'm at the Dempsey Project, but I think I would love to encourage all of you to try to maybe like experience like some heritage flavors in your own home and like just play around with it, cook it up. You can buy the paste at Batu Lesung Spice Company.com.
All right. This has been The Brightside with Chef Jeremy Nguee.
91.